Hello everyone, welcome back to this amazing series. I'm Aditya. In this series, we are creating an e-commerce app, to be precise, a headless e-commerce app, where we are using Garchi SaaS or Garchi CMS, a product by us, for headless e-commerce, which allows you to create products, inventories, orders, and all those things. So it's an e-commerce CMS in general. So currently, I have logged in as a seller account or as a seller, and because with sellers you have more power on your inventory when it comes to products, adding categories, adding or even seeing your orders. So mostly now we will be dealing with the APIs for the inventory, which is the products and the categories. So I'll be mostly preferring the seller account. You can also do it through the admin account. In that case, you first need to create categories through the seller account so that you can create products for that seller for that category, or you can replicate your admin account as a seller account if you're a single vendor seller, or if your website is just going to have products from yourselves. Then in that case, you can just replicate the seller account and just use your seller account. Sorry, replicate your admin account as a seller account and use your seller account to create products. So as currently I'm logged in as a seller, so first thing I'm going to do is I already have some products. So first, let's just render these products, and then I will also show you how to add a new product. Now, generally in an e-commerce website, so currently we have this basic setup, but mostly in e-commerce websites, you will have a landing page, some other pages, and like it's like a full-fledged website. What we are going to do here is we'll be focusing mostly on the API part. So I'm going to assume that my landing page is the store page, and mostly we'll render some products here, some categories, maybe some filters if required, and yeah, then we'll proceed forward. Now what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go to my code. Now the APIs that we have, or the API token we are going to use, we just need to make sure that that API token is used from the server side if possible. There is no like hard and fast rule that you have to use from server side. It's just for the security reason, because the token will be used for billing, and if you use it on the server side, then of course that token is secured, so it hides your token. But if you use it on the client side, then of course through the browser code it's public. So it depends like how you want to use it, but personally I would suggest to use it on a server side logic. So what I'm going to do here is let's first create a folder where we'll have some of our JavaScripts if required in the future as well. So this assets folder, first script we'll add here is api.js. Okay, now this thing will just return an Axios instance. Now why we need that Axios instance? Because if you notice, our Axios main, I would say the general part would contain the base URL, the token, and some extra headers that we want to add. So those will be repeated in all the requests. Now to avoid those rewriting of those particular part of code, what we can do is we can create an Axios instance, export it, and just use it straight away. So it's pretty simple. First we import Axios from Axios, making sure that Axios is installed. Then here I'm going to say export const API equal to Axios.create. Now this will take in some config, so it's going to be an object. So base URL, as it says. Now the base URL, if I go back to the documentation over here, the base URL, it says, if I go to the introduction there, so the base URL is garchi.co.uk, but it doesn't stop over there. If you see, we have garchi.co.uk API/v1. So we can add entire part from here, and then we can just simply, whatever is our request, we can just simply switch after that v1/. So I'm just going to copy this from here. Great. Now next thing, we need the headers. So headers, inside headers we need the authorization token, because if I go to authenticating requests, it says that we need to pass our token as a bearer token. So over here, authorization header with the value bearer token, whatever our token is. So here I'm going to say authorization, then backticks actually would be a better option, bearer, and then the token. Now my token is stored in env file over here. So in the last video, as I said, like whichever has next public, that's gonna be our browser side environment variables. Whichever variable name don't have next public as a prefix, that's going to be our server side variables. So I'm going to focus on this API underscore key. So I'm going to say process.env.api underscore key. Perfect. So that's our API key. Now I'm going to add another header here. I'm going to say accept. So I want to accept application JSON as a response. And I guess this is a pretty basic good start. So once we have this, next thing we need to do is now on our index page. So here we are going to render our products. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a component over here. So let's go to components over here. Let's go and create product. So product list.js. Cool. Now what we are going to do here is this component is going to take the list of products and then it's going to render the product card. So let's create another component which is product card. So product card.jsx. Now to save some time, if I go to Tailwind UI, so Tailwind UI, now they have amazing components for product cards. So if I go to browse everything, and if I scroll or from here, I can go to e-commerce section. From e-commerce section, this is the product list. So if we go over here and if we just take this component, look at this, like it's so beautiful. So let's just reuse this. So let's cover the option of React from here, go to code, and let's see what they want. So first thing they need is so they aren't importing any extra components. So it's all simple HTML. So this part over here is the list, I guess till here. Yes, and this part in the for loop is a card. So what I'm going to do is I'll first copy this entire code from here, copy it from here, and then in the product list, let's create an RFC component. I have that React extension in VS Code. That's why I'm able to use this shortcut. So we have the functional component product list. Now here, what I'm going to do is let's remove this and paste our code. So this is the basic code we have. And now what I'm going to do is this part over here, this will go in our product card. So let's take it from here and put it in our product card like this. Okay. So here we can put that code. Now this product.id, product.whatnot is all can be passed as a prop. So let's pass it as a prop over here, product. Sorry. Next. Okay, let's just first do this and then go back over here. Now here we will pass our product component. Now what I'm going to do is, if you notice, this says customer also purchased. So we have our package. If you remember, we installed this package over here, Adirani DS Tailwind components, React Tailwind components. So from there, I'm going to import title component from Adirani DS, and also I'm going to need the styling. Okay. All good. So next we will do is we will put that title tag over here. So I'm going to say title, that component, actually not the tag. So title component will come over here and we can pass this properties if required. Actually, we don't need this because I guess the component cover it correctly. If not, we'll just pass it. So now here we have customers also purchased. So here we could say products. And then here we render our product component. Now, personally, I prefer to do lazy loading of components. Next.js is very good in code splitting as well. So this step is, I think it should be optional, but let's do it. I will show you how to do a lazy loading of components in Next.js. So first we import dynamic from next dynamic. Okay. Then we say here we want the component that is product card. So product card equal to, then we say dynamic, and here we pass the import function. We say import, and we can give a chunk name if we like. So something like this, webpack chunk, chunk name. And here we say we want that chunk name to be called as product card. And here we say that comes from the product card component over here. Now, once we have this product card component, we pass it over here, product card. And now, as it's a for loop, we will need to also pass the key to this component. So key is, let's say product dot id, and we will need the prop product. So product, that's gonna be the product. Okay, so this looks clean and nice. So we have our product list ready. Let's bring it on our front page over here. So I can again use, so let's remove this. Actually, we don't need these two for now here. Dynamic. So we need to go 2 directories up. So here, oh sorry, components, product list. All good. Let's put it over here. Product list like this. Now let's see what do we have. So if we go back to our app over here, it says products is not defined, of course, because we didn't pass the list of products. So let's use this normal list for now, and then later we will get it from our API. So product list over here. So let's put that products over here like this. So we just have one product for now. Let's see what do we get from one product. So if you go back, there it is. So we have our one product. That's great. Now this title, I forgot the size prop over there. So product list actually. So this title takes in the size props. I'm going to say size equal to h1 type. So if I go back, now the title is bigger. That's great. And there we have our one product. Now let's get these products from our API. So what I'm going to do here is, to this product list, I'm going to pass this products as prop like this. I'm going to take this all from here. Now let's go over here. Let's write our first server-side code. Okay, so for now, let's just comment this. We'll get back to that again. Here I'm going to say export, should be function, all good. Now here, what this takes is, it takes the context. So if I show you the documentation of get server-side props, it takes in the context. This context comprises of certain parameters. So if I show you those parameters, it should be inside the API reference. Then next server, no, not next server, data rendering somewhere, yeah, data fetching actually. So get server side props. So these are the parameters. So there is request, response, query, preview, whatnot. So what we are interested currently is in nothing because we will be just making a simple get request, get all the products for our shop, okay, from all the sellers. So what I'm going to do is I'll just pass the context as it is, and here first we will need our API. So I'm going to say API, and if it allows me to import, that's great. So here let's do like this actually, const product equal to API, and here I'm going to say await because we want this to go in a synchronous way. API.get. Now let's go to the documentation to just quickly have a look what URL we have for products. So if I go to products and categories, list all products here. It's by default, it's paginated by set of 10 products per page. You can increase this number if you want, like per page, 100 products, 20 products, anyhow. So for now, I'm just going to get all the products. So it says products / products. So let's do that. So here I'm going to say the URL is products. Now once we have this, I'm going to say here, actually this should be request, so that, or response to be honest, response. Now here I'm going to say product, this is going to be await response dot data. Cool. Let's console log products to see what do we get. So if I go back, it should return actually, else it's going to throw me an error. So this should return an object which will have our props. That props will go in our home component shortly. But here I'm going to say products. So if I go back in the console, you will see we are getting our products details. So this is what we want. So this we want to pass. So you will see there is a data : array. So it's just the data is a key. So we need to pass products.data. Okay, so here I'm going to say products.data. And then once we have this, we pass that here as a prop. Oh, sorry, products. Yeah. And then that goes to our product list over here as a prop. So here I'm going to say products equal to products. All good. Now, as this is server side rendered very well in SEO, you can also do this SSG, like static site generated. But sometimes if you want real-time data, you can just, like, suppose if you're adding products, let's say frequently, then server side is good because it's more like a real-time data. But if you are adding products, like let's say after 20 days, 40 days, or even like a day, then you could do static site generated, like SSG gets static props, and then you can have a revalidate function. So it becomes like an incremental static site. So after every, let's say 15 seconds, 30 seconds, the page is rendered behind the scene. So we will see for server side, and I'll show you how that SSG works. So that being said, okay, let's have this. Now it shows me an error that there is no product.id, of course, because we just need to follow this schema now. So there is product_id, then we have name, then we have stock, then we have price, then we have scratch price for promotional price to be precise, a one-line description, category, then we have delivery type, main image, and so on and so on and so on. So let's go step by step. So first we will have the product ID. So let's go to our product card. First, here we need to pass it as a key as well. So product_id. Then we go to our, let's close this actually. Let's go to product card. So product card over here, this key, we don't need it for now here because we are putting it on a component there. Then we have here product.image_src. Instead of that, we will have main image actually, not yeah, just main image. So main_image. Then the alt could be the product name. Then this could remain as it is. href, this is the link that when someone click on it, it takes you to the product page. For now, I'm just gonna keep it like a hashtag. We will see how we can tackle this as well. So if we want to see one single product, we will see that later. Product name as it is. This is the product attribute. So let's see what attribute we could show. Attributes currently there are nothing. So what we could show is we could just show the price, and yeah, just the price actually. And then let's go over here and let's just remove this line. Cool. So we have everything set. Now let's see what happens when we refresh the page. There you go. So we have our two beautiful products. Now if you see, the price is just a number. So it is on you, like what's the currency of your shop. So you can put the currency here. So let's say my currency here is GBP. So I can put the GBP symbol here. So let me quickly put here GBP symbol like this. All good. And let's go back. Okay, so if I go back over here and see, okay, there we have the GBP symbol. Now if I click on this, it takes me nowhere, but let's say I click on this and it opens a new product page. Before we close, actually, let's first see how can we do this as a SSG, because we did it get server side props. Let's try to do it get static props. So here, if I go, it's exactly similar, nothing different. The only thing is we can pass a parameter, which is in our return object, which is the revalidate. So this revalidate, what's going to do it after every 10 seconds, in this case, we'll just refresh our page behind the scene. And once there is a new request, the new refreshed page comes automatically. Now get static props is actually renders your entire page HTML of this page on a build time. Server side props generally renders that on a per request. Now let's try get static prop. So if I go over here, actually here, so instead of get server side props, let's say we have get static props. Everything remains as it is. Just here we will need another thing, which is revalidate. And we want to revalidate after, let's say, so that makes it a minute, and we just need to, so let's say after 1 hour we want to refresh, so 16 to 63,600 seconds. So I can just simply put here seconds, just this is going to be in seconds as a comment. So let's go back over here, refresh the page, nothing is going to change, everything will be as it is. But the good side is when you deploy this, this is going to be way faster because the page is already generated during build time. So the HTML will be straight away displayed as soon as someone visits this. And after every 1 hour behind the scene, whenever there's a request, Next will create a fresh or fetch this page on a fresh data because your products list might change. So it's kind of like a pretty cool rendering technique. So that's all in this video. In the next video, we will see how to get the categories, and also how to get the filters, and also how to create a page where we click on this and this takes us to that particular product page. So all that we will see in the next video. Till then, goodbye.